Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a Canadian film from 2008 produced for the Sci-Fi Channel. Now, normally, that one single phrase, produced for the Sci-Fi Channel, would be the kiss of death for any film. Because, for those of you who don't know, any movie that is produced for the Sci-Fi Channel is almost guaranteed to be complete and total shit. However, I do happen to remember the ads for this movie playing back in 2008, and it looked genuinely good. However, I never had a chance to watch it, so I have my chance tonight. The movie is called Rise of the Gargoyles. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not remember a goddamn thing about those ads back in 2008, outside of the fact that I saw them and went, this looks like it might be pretty good. So this thing could very easily be that shimmering diamond in the mountainous pile of horse shit that is Sci-Fi Channel original films. Or maybe it's just an extra shiny turd just sort of glowing in the mound, just trying to trick you into going over and picking it up. So I'm about to find out. I am genuinely curious because, again, the ads for this thing looked really, really promising. So now it's time to find out if the damn thing's any good, huh? Without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Rise of the Gargoyles. Alright guys, I really don't know how to say this without sounding a bit too blunt, but thus far in this film, our lead character is coming off as one of the most unlikable dickheads I've ever seen in any film. He just fucking doesn't, he just doesn't seem to, like, care about anything, which makes me hope that he gets gored by a goddamn gargoyle at some point. I'm really hoping, even though I know it's probably not gonna happen. There's no way in hell he was actually frightened by that fucking gargoyle. He went to the building, he went to this old ancient building knowing full fucking well that there are gargoyles there. And then suddenly he sees one and he jumps. No, you dumb motherfucker. You knew they were fucking there. Nothing should have fucking surprised you in there unless it blinked. Okay, let me see if I understand this. He's wandering around in a fucking old building and a tiny gargoyle statue makes him almost shit his pants. But a corpse drops through his fucking car and he barely reacts. The fuck is wrong with this goddamn movie, guys? Well, folks, out of our two lead characters, one of them is now officially dead. And that was really an awesome death death scene. So all of a sudden now my mood is starting to, turn a little bit. This movie might actually be kind of promising. Okay, so it is not just our lead character who is a fucking total unfucking likable douche. Everybody in France apparently is a completely unlikable douchebag according to this fucking movie. I have a feeling that the next hour is going to be kind of painful. Alright guys, I do have to say this. No matter how much I am bitching about how every character in this film is just basically about as likable as a case of jock itch, at least the fucking gargoyle effects look really good. I just kind of wanted to share that with you. Did that priest actually just say the Book of Revelations? I am not even a fucking religious person, and I know that there is no S in that name. It is the Book of Revelation. Any moron fucking knows this. My God, how dumb were the fucking writers who wrote this thing, dude? You know, this scene is supposed to be tense. At least I'm going to assume that they are attempting to build, tension. There probably would be tension here if I gave a shit about any of these characters. If any of these characters were more than just unlikable assholes, maybe I might care about all of them almost being killed, but no, honestly, I'm kind of hoping for, I'm kind of sort of hoping for everybody to fucking die here. Thank you fucking God this movie's done. No, I am not sitting through these credits. I don't care if they're only a minute long. Fuck you. Well, folks, that was Rise of the Gargoyles, and, holy fuck. I don't know what the hell I saw in those old ads. No, wait, I do know what I saw in those old ads back in 2008. Back when I first saw them, and I thought, hey, this actually looks like it's kind of decent. Because, I'm going to break my usual protocol. I'm not going to cover writing first. I'm going to cover the one lone positive this movie has, and that is its special effects. You see, because I'm used to so many of these, you know, like Sci-Fi Channel movies, or movies that are almost known exclusively for being run on the Sci-Fi Channel. Almost all of them are known for having some of the shittiest CG in the history of man. I have seen movies where, I believe one of them was called like Raptor Island or something like that, where the dinosaurs as well as the bullet effects when they were shot looked as if they came off of a PlayStation 1 game. And that was back in like 2005. That is bullshit. Or wait, maybe it was 2003. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The movie was shit anyway. You know, and that was seen as sort of like the high end of Sci-Fi Channel CG effects. My God, this thing actually had good CG effects. Jesus God. With all of the problems this movie has, all of the mounting bullshit, I'm able to look at the CG and go, my God, that is some really impressive stuff. Unfortunately, that is the only positive I'm able to levy against this film, besides the usual, you know, sound is okay and camera work is good, but I don't give a shit about those anymore, alright? At least not for this movie. So the one lone positive this fucking thing has going for it is absolutely stunning visual effects, which are probably going to be even more surprising to me when I find out, I mean, if I ever go and I look into the budget of this movie and find out it was made on the ultra cheap. I'm gonna tell you that the fucking like gargoyle effect looks really good, as is when it's being turned into stone and when it's coming out of its petrified state. It looks really good. It looks really fucking cool. I cannot tell you how good it is. You guys would almost have to see it. Unfortunately, in order for you to see it, you'd probably have to sit through this god-awful thing, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Now I'm going to talk about the fucking writing. Okay. Now, we have a little bit of a stereotype here in the U.S. It's this little, like, stereotype we all have towards the French. We all, in the U.S., seem to perceive the French as arrogant, rude dickheads. This movie does nothing to change that. In fact, not only are the two people in the film who actually are French in this film set in Paris, you know, complete and total douchebags, but so is our one lone British character and all of our American characters. They're all unlikable douchebags. It basically almost seems like if you live in France, just the sheer fucking collective smug, arrogant bullshit of the country is going to seep into you, and people who see you are going to wish you dead. But that, honestly, is just being horribly harsh against the French. But I'm just telling you, there isn't a single likable character in this goddamn movie. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that this was made, I'm going to assume, primarily for American audiences. And Americans almost always perceive the French as being these arrogant, unfucking likable douchebags. So, unfortunately, they go, you know, for that. And it strikes every single character. Now, not only do we have that, this film is one of the most unoriginal things I have ever fucking laid eyes on. Mind you guys, I have watched Paranormal Entity and Snakes on a Train, Transmorphers and Death Racers and a bunch of other god-awful knockoff films throughout the course of this series, and this is the most unoriginal hunk of shit I have watched. But that's probably because we're transmorphers and death racers and paranormal entity. We're all trying to, you know, each of them we're trying to ape off of just one or two movies in a real blatant fashion where it becomes almost laughable. This thing is picking up some of the most tired, cliched story, like fucking story elements, and they're trying to cobble all of those together, as well as borrowing things from better movies and TV shows. There really is not a single original thought in this entire fucking movie. Allow me to run you through a couple of them. How many times have we seen a movie where some creature, some monster, some thing is killing people, and the one person who knows, or rather they think they know exactly what the hell is killing off these people, goes to the cops, and the cops name them as a suspect instead of actually believing them? How many times have we seen that in movies? How many times have we seen it? Have we seen that get so bad that our fucking lead, you know, suspect is able to gather up a bunch of fucking misfits, and they go and they take care of the problem them fucking selves? That has been done so many times in movies, it's getting really tiresome, and it'd be really nice if they could have done something new with it, something new, something different, but no. It is just lazily fucking written. By the way, I was doing while the movie was going, because while I was trying to keep from falling the fuck asleep, I was doing a little bit of research on gargoyle mythology, because they have something here, which I have only seen in one other thing that has used gargoyles, that being the Disney show Gargoyles, which is, when exposed to sunlight, they turn to stone. And during my research, I found nothing else in fucking gargoyle mythology in my, like, 45 seconds of searching outside of that one Disney show that used that fucking element, which means that this thing had to rip off of Disney, which is kind of, I mean, come on, guys. Okay, how many films have been made involving fucking gargoyles? How many movies and TV shows? You couldn't have come up with something, you know, new or fucking, you know, unique? And while I'm on the subject of turning the gargoyle into stone, I really wish that the writers would have been a little bit more consistent as to exactly why the fuck you would want to do that. Because we have this fucking nutjob priest who is the only character who comes in any way close to being likable and then fails miserably, but that's just because, well, he's a fucking nutjob and he's not really all that likable anyway. But he mentions that he has armor-piercing bullets. And he mentions that the gargoyle's skin is too thick for the armor-piercing bullets to penetrate. However, if they come in contact with sunlight, they are then covered with this layer of rock, essentially as kind of sort of a form of camouflage. And if that happens, then he can shoot them no problem. I didn't know that adding a layer of rock over something which armor-piercing bullets couldn't fucking penetrate in the first place would all of a sudden make it vulnerable to armor-piercing bullets. And by the way, using fucking sunlight to take fucking something and turn it into stone and then smash it, which is what they do with the gargoyle eggs, was lifted from one of my favorite horror comedies from the 1980s. It was a Gremlins knockoff called Munchies. The fact that this thing had to rip off of Munchies is nothing shy of fucking pathetic. In fact, now I kind of wish I could find a copy of Munchies on DVD that didn't cost $100 fucking dollars. Damn thing's really hard to find on DVD. But yeah, there is nothing here in this movie that is in any way original. Everything here has been done before, and goddammit, it has been done a million times better. Acting. Oh boy, the acting! Let's talk about that shit, huh? Apparently, everybody in this film believes that the only way to truly act is to basically just be as wooden as possible. The biggest offender to this, the biggest, is the movie's star, whose name is, I have to look it up, it fucking escapes me. His name is Eric Balfour, who apparently, besides working on this hunk of shit, was also on 24, Well, that would probably explain why 24 sucks, because they casted worthless talent challenge wastes of skin like Eric fucking Balfour. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm not talking about 24. This guy, early on in the film, and I mentioned this, but I'm going to talk about it again. Because this, my friends, is exactly how bad the acting in this movie is. He goes into this old church. He makes mention of the fact that there are gargoyles everywhere on the inside. And then he's sitting there and he's like trying to film them. He's trying to look at them. And then he looks up and there's one on the fucking wall, and he fucking reacts in just such a way, I would swear to God, he looks almost like he shit his pants. And then, not 10 minutes later in the fucking movie, a bloody corpse drops down and fucking totals his goddamned rental car, and he's totally stone-faced about it. I'm sorry, but I believe that those two reactions should have been fucking flipped. Because if you know that you're in a building which is full of fucking gargoyles, nothing like that should fucking surprise you. But I don't know any human being who would just go, oh, ho-hum, looky there, when a bloody corpse falls from fuck only knows how high and totals your goddamn car. Okay? And that guy's is sort of like the pinnacle of his fucking acting, is not knowing when to actually emote and when to not look surprised. He doesn't know. And almost every other actor is just there for the sake of being there. They're like, oh yeah, and they're just rattling off their fucking lines. They are just droning them. And it just gets unbearably dull. Holy shit. Now, the closest we have to good acting is from the priest. But of course the priest just basically has to play a fucking nut job. And he's the only character who apparently has some kind of an accent I can't totally place. Because everybody else is either fucking American, British, or French. His almost sounds like it might be some form of fucking, like, U.S. drawl, but I don't know from where. I cannot fucking tell if he is supposed to be from, like, New England or the Midwest, or maybe he's supposed to be from fucking Canada. The accent is just so different compared to everything else. I just can't place it. So the fact that he couldn't even nail, down a fucking accent tells me that maybe they should have cast somebody better. But hey, really, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can talk about, because I've already kind of touched on special effects. Special effects in general, besides just the CG, is essentially just like gore effects, and there are a handful of puppet effects, which is anytime that the gargoyle has to punch through a wall or punch through a window. It basically is just a rubber glove that goes, all the way up, and it looks pretty good. It definitely matches up with the fucking CG model, which is saying a hell of a lot more than what they did with Nazis at the Center of the Earth, which I should mention came out 4 years after this thing did. The fact that this thing is able to actually blend its fucking CG effects and its practical effects, and a movie that came out this year can't, is another slight positive on Rise of the Gargoyles. Oh boy. Alright, so can I recommend Rise of the Gargoyles? No. Alright? There's no fucking way in hell I could recommend this. I cannot even recommend this stupid thing as possible riffing material. There's nothing here, guys. This movie is so bland, it is so dull. Really, the only things it has going for it is it has really good gore effects, it has really good practical effects, has fantastic CG effects. Unfortunately, all of those awesome effects are lumped onto this lazily fucking written, poorly acted, horribly scripted hunk of shit that, frankly, I am surprised that some asshole thought it was a good idea to go and, dump the stupid thing on DVD. But hey, somebody did. Some goofball over at RHI Entertainment thought it was a good idea to take this horrible fucking wreck and put it on DVD. Speaking of the shit being on DVD, yes, Rise of the Gargoyles came off of the Amazon.com wish list. The person who sent it in is a guy who was a regular viewer back when I used to regularly stream, and his name is Vince. And he has a new YouTube channel up, which is called, actually, I accidentally written down here. It is Wretched Child 88. I am going to put a link to his video. So, yeah, Vince, thank you, because, yeah, once more, way back in 2008 when I first saw ads for this movie, I was really curious. I just never had the chance to watch it, because I could never fucking remember the date or time that they said the stupid thing was going to be running. So I missed out on it every single time that it aired. Well, now after watching it, I'm almost happy I missed out on watching it for two reasons. One, because I would probably have been really pissed off then, and, well, I wouldn't have had a camera in front of me. And two, I think this made for a really good reaction and review. So yeah, Vince, thank you, and guys, by all means, swing on over and check out his channel once more. It is Wretched Child 88. Swing over there and check out everything he has. He actually created, and this was sort of a cool thing. It was, or rather, it is the opening to reaction and review with lyrics. And even though I am choosing not to use it because I don't like the whole thought of lyrics in my opening, I don't know why, it's just a personal thing, it still turned out really cool. So by all means, swing over there and check it out. And check out everything else Vince has on that channel. Once more, thank you. And with that, folks, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.